and welcome back to the Rose Reports channel. Today we've got a special guest. I've been a fan of this guy since the start of this season. Really, when it came to TikTok, he's done a lot of stuff on there, and he's doing really well with his interactions. So fair play to him. So, everyone say hello to Ollie.
How are you guys? You all right?
So there he is. Yeah. So today we're just gonna, this is recorded the day after the Hull City match. Yesterday I was gonna do it, but I didn't want to let my emotions get the best of me. So I thought a nice simple TikTok, would just do the job yesterday. Whereas today we're gonna dive straight in there with the details. And 0-0 against Hull City yesterday. Not ideal, especially when all the teams that we've got to play for the rest of the season are 8th onwards now. At this point of the season, it's not ideal when you really want to push right now. This is when you want to push the most for this playoff. You want to separate yourself from that, concentrated, like that little smudge of group there. You want to separate yourself from them and really be the team that are definitely going to get it. Unfortunately, we haven't done that. But I'm obviously going to go straight to Ollie here. What did you think of yesterday's game?
Same thing, really. Initially, it was, I don't want to say anger, I'd say more frustration. I felt possession-wise, we held the ball really well. I think if you watch Blackburn the last couple of games, we do control the game. Carter let slip a couple of times. That's quite worrying for me. Yeah, all right, young defender, done incredibly well. And at times he breaks that line and he moves into the midfield. But yet against the final third, I don't see the Diaz of last year. I don't see that person who would go that extra bit for the ball. It's frustrating. Gallagher, for all his effort, just I want to see someone just shoot the ball. Yesterday, I think it was that many times we were on the 16-yard box and we just kept tapping around and find the perfect pass. Get a ball in the box, you know what I mean? Just get some width, have a shot, be a bit brave in your decisions, lads. Look at the Huddersfield game second half and how if we put that amount of pressure and we thought what we can create, it was highly frustrating. That's all I can say. Fair play to Hull. Hull came with a game plan. They've played Sunderland, they played Millwall, and they've got results against these teams, and they played actually quite well. So they ain't no mugs, but they're just yet again another missed opportunity.
Yeah, like you said there, a lot of Blackburn fans are saying they were there for the taking. Of course they were, but we can't take anything away from Hull's performance yesterday. I mean, they came there, like you said, with a game plan, and it was to frustrate us, and frustrate us they did. We couldn't pull off any, shots yesterday. Sky Sports showed it. It was so much hesitation on the edge of the box. The Lewis Travis at the start of this year, he would have hit a few of them shots from the edge of the box and give it a good whirl and see where it went. But it was just the little slight fake touches where, he looks like he's going to go for it. He'll take it past someone. And it's like, come on, you've got to hit it there first time. We just want that. We just want shots on target, Carl Darlow, don't get me wrong, very good goalkeeper, but he's not bulletproof. But by all means, if he faces 20 shots at target, yeah, he's going to concede one of them, isn't it? He's not going to save every single one. Just hit the ball. And it was really frustrating yesterday. But one man in particular I want to focus on here. Well, two men actually in particular I want to focus on here. And I really want Ollie's opinion on this, because deep down inside, Mr. Adam Wharton should be starting every game, because as soon as he came on, that ball through to Hedges, who put it across to H.Leonard, who's the other man we're going to get onto in a second, was the ball that separated that defence completely. That looks like it was never going to break. And that one pass by Adam Wharton absolutely broke that defence. So, Ollie, what's your opinion on Adam Wharton that game? And do you think he should be starting a lot more this season?
Straight answer, yes. Now, I think if we all remember the Blackpool game, there's a young lad, 17, 18, socks rolled down like Jack Grealish, bit of swagger on him, and he mugged a whole team off. He just had the little flicks around the corner. It's the simple things for me, like when you pass the ball to him 4 yards out and the player's on his shoulder, he has the ability to just turn away, find a pass. He knows who his players are. The vision he has is something. I'm not going to go down the lines of two guys. Let's not, give the guy.
Not just yet, Ollie. Come on, get ahead of yourself here.
A big ego. But Against Huddersfield, we cried out for him. Everything went through him. Everything went through him. And yet again against Huddersfield, there was little times where the midfield would step up, he'd get that little gap, he'd go through, he'd switch through to Hedges. It actually let Simonics go and push up on the strikers where he needs to play. I can't in my head. I just look. I can't. I sometimes think, what does JDT think? A guy has a good game, and then he's almost like he's trying to lower the lads' expectations. I know this whole thing about, look, when you're too young, you try and bed him in really well. But this guy is good enough to play in the first team. He's 18 years old. He's got blue and white running through him. You could argue that this guy should have been playing against Burnley during the season. I'm a believer that even him and his brother, who I feel a bit disappointed for Scott, but we'll get onto that later maybe, should be in that squad, blue and white through and through. Massively missed. It does show. Even he did the same again when he came on against Norwich. 10 minutes, too little, too late, and he even showed them what he can do. So, yeah, I'm puzzled as to why, personally.
Yeah, and like you said, the JDT does have a little bit of an act, doesn't he, really, for, players having a good game, then not playing in the next game. And you just think to yourself, why JDT? Why? I'm not taking anything away from him. I love the bloke. 50 games for us the other day. But I love the bloke. I think he's absolutely brilliant. Like we said before, Ollie said so many times, we're overachieving. We are massively overachieving. Even if we don't get playoffs, we should be very happy. But I think the frustrating thing is we're so close. It's one of them ones, yet so close, yet so far. It's like, we're so close. And games like the whole game yesterday, that should be when you're knocking it on the head and going, right, this is it. These are the games we're pushing for it now. But A.Wharton, get him in the team. Like you said, the blue and white, full and through. Wiltshire boys, they know the area well. They know everything about it. Get them in there. And you said we might get into Scott Wharton, but before we get into Scott Wharton, I want to move on to Harry Leonard. We're gonna go in depth on this on another episode at some point when Ollie's free. We're gonna do a Harry Leonard versus Sam Gallagher little comparison. Maybe it's unfair to compare him yet, but when we see what we saw from Harry Leonard yet again yesterday, a bit more fight, I think it's fair that he's there at the minute. What do you think about Harry Leonard's performance yesterday when he did finally come on the pitch?
It's like against Huddersfield. Look, Sam Gallagher runs and runs, and I could, if I told him to throw himself in front of a bomb, he probably would do. But he's got to put it in the back of the net. Harry, look, he's been. I've not seen a lot of him in the 21s. I've only seen clips. I'd rarely get to go down to Leyland, so if any Bottom fans do go there, great youth setup. I remember going to watching against Leicester a couple of years ago, and that was when Buckley and Butterworth and and we're all coming through. So it's amazing how you don't think it at the time, but then these lads come on the scene. And he's hot property, and he's scoring goals for fun. Now, there is a slight thing which you could say I thought the same about Jack Bale, last year. But yet again, I don't. I say it don't see the harm not trying, but when we've not got Beretta not at his top form, probably the best that we've got to offer, unfortunately. But you've got a young lad who's fit, hungry. I think he's blue and white. I'm not too sure. I could be very wrong. I don't want to assume anything. But yet again, look at the plays that we threw in there. You Carter from the youth setup. You put Wharton. You got Leonard. There's a spine right there, and that should be something to be quite proud of as a Blackburn fan in our youth development. I generally think I don't understand why, especially with against Coventry's Coventry's a massive game, but I don't understand why, he doesn't do the hold up player. But I tell you what, I trust him to run onto a ball more than Gallagher at the current time. And I think that's what we need. We don't need someone to hold it up. We need someone to run at him.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Like you said there, as soon as he came on against Huddersfield, I mean, I was watching from home, obviously being at uni, but when I saw him against Huddersfield, as soon as he came onto the pitch, I mean, it was mouthing everywhere. I loved it. It was so passionate, Some people complain about it, a little less chat, a little more action. No, I loved it. I don't think we've had someone who's been so disruptive to an opposition defence in ages. And some of these defenders, I mean, as soon as he came on against Huddersfield, you could see he was frustrating some of the veterans at the back. He was frustrating them. And for a 19-year-old lad, come on. That's something you learn later on in the game. And he's already got it to a T. I want to see more of him this season. I think he's great. But at the end of the day, like we've seen so many times this year, it's JDT's choice. It's the same when it comes to the Tyler Morton thing. I'm sure a lot of our fan base would like to see him dropped. I'm sure they would. I'm not going to say my opinion on that because I don't want to get into any controversy. But, at the end of the day, he might have something in his contract clause, or JDT might be a massive, massive fan of him. We don't know. We've got to respect the manager's decision, though. His decision's got us to a quarterfinal of an FA Cup. It's got so high up how it is now, so we can't complain. But the last thing I'd like to touch on with you, Ollie, you've been absolutely brilliant. I love Ollie. He's so energetic and he always gets it bob on, I think. I think some of the hate he gets is not necessary. But if you had
Loons and dingles, to be fair, so let's get it straight, you know what I mean? So uneducated people anyway, but go on.
Hey, look, you just fire him up. You fire up the beast inside. So for all them people doing it anyway, you're just bringing the best out of him. But yeah, just before we end today's video, man of the match, Ollie, come on, give it us.
No, I generally thought it was Sam Simonics from the other night. I'm trying to think what Sky we're watching with Tyrese Dolan. I'm massively confused. I look. Ty's one of these lads who I think he's got an abundance of pace. Just use the pace. I don't need the step overs. I don't need the back flicks. I don't need in the last 10 minutes of a match running across 60-yard box for trying to back heel it to Pickering and get, you know what I mean? We just need simple stuff. Like the ball he played for Rankin Costello against Huddersfield, beautiful interplay. But he missed a big chance against Hull, a massive chance. Work rate, you can't knock the lad, but I didn't see anything more. Simonics, he's massively grown on me. Very energetic. If I could get 11 of him, we'd be brilliant. We'd be brilliant.
And I love that saying because it was the same with Huddersfield. If we had 11 Joe Rankin Costellos playing, we would have absolutely finished that game way earlier than we had to. I mean, but we don't want to be a team of individuals. Last year, we weren't Blackburn Rovers, we were Brereton Rovers. I hated it, I want to be Blackburn Rovers FC. I want to be a team of collective people. And then again, it's individuals. Dak had his period where he was brilliant and we were Dak Rovers. Brereton had his period this year, to be fair to him, where he did have that little period during the start where you thought, oh, we're getting the same Brereton as last year. Obviously, that's changed now. And then Dolan had a couple of weeks in the starting 11 where you thought, oh my God, he's absolutely blown it away. We need collective performances through and through. Sheffield United, we lost, but we cheered them on because it was a team performance. We loved it. But if I had to go for man of the match, I don't want to be a copycat, but I don't see anyone else but Sammy Schmodix, to be fair. He give it his all. When does he not, to be fair to him? He's the one player that I look at every game and go, to be fair, we've lost, but he's still running. People are probably telling him to get off the pitch 120 minutes after the game's finished because that man just does not stop. Pitch inspectors are pissed off by him. He doesn't stop running. That man is absolutely unreal. I love him. But yeah, Sammy Schmolix it is. Tyrese Dolan, no hate against you. You have your moments, but last night it shows that we need a winger that runs at people, but not a winger that just runs into danger every time. But that does it for today's video. I want to thank you. I want to say a big thank you to Ollie for joining us.
Yeah, cheers, mate. I've actually really enjoyed it, actually, to be fair. It's been good.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see a lot more of him and all his good opinions. I love this man to bits. Like I said, I see him on TikTok all the time. It's a pleasure to have him. But thank you all for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, turn on the notifications, and also give Ollie a little follow on TikTok and have a look at some of his content. Because I'll tell you what, you will not be disappointed. Thank you all and goodbye.